Hello and welcome once again in our journey of discovering the relationship between zeros and coefficients of a polynomials. In our last videos, we have seen that there exists a relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of a quadratic polynomial. So, in this video, we are going to learn how to form a quadratic equation or a quadratic polynomial from the zeros that have been given for that polynomial. So before we start, let's first of all revise how this relationship between the zeros and the coefficient of the polynomial exists. We have the quadratic polynomial of the form ax square plus bx plus c. We all know that. Now, suppose for such a polynomial, there exist two zeros that are alpha and beta. If alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, then we know that x minus alpha and x minus beta will be the factors of px, that is the polynomial ax square plus bx. As these are the factors, we can express the polynomial quadratic polynomial as the product of these two factors. We can express in this fashion, that is ax square plus bx plus c will be equal to x minus alpha multiplied by x minus beta, and that these two factors multiplied by k, and here the k is any real number. So here when we use these factors and using the identity x plus a into x plus b, and recalling that identity, we say that when x plus a is multiplied by x plus b, we get x squared plus a plus b multiplied by x plus ab. Similarly, expanding these factors using that identity, we get k into bracket x squared minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta. Here you have to remember or recall the identity, that is x plus a multiplied by x plus b, x plus a multiplied by x plus b. So using this identity, when we expand these factors, we get x squared minus alpha plus beta multiplied by x plus alpha beta. Again, multiplying this expansion with the real number k, we get kx square minus k alpha plus beta into x plus k alpha beta. Now when we compare the coefficients of x square, x and a constant term, here ignoring k as it is a constant or a real number, when we think about the coefficients of x square and x and product alpha beta, that is constant term, we get alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and similarly alpha beta will be equal to c by a. This means that the sum of the product, the sum of the zeros will be equal to the ratio, negative ratio of the coefficient of x to the coefficient of x square. This is the sum of zeros. This relationship we are going to use to form the quadratic polynomials from the zeros, and the product of zeros, that is alpha beta, will be equal to the ratio of constant term to the coefficient of x square. So these two are the important relationships between the zeros of the quadratic polynomial and the coefficient, and using this relationship we are going to form the quadratic polynomial. Let's take an example and see to it. Now when we want to find or form a quadratic polynomial using the zeros which have been given in the question, we take two steps. In the first step, we determine the values of coefficients, that is a, b and c, from the given zeros using the relationship of zeros and coefficients of a polynomial. In the first step, we determine the values of coefficients, that is a, b and c, from the given zeros. We have been given the zeros, and using the relationship of zeros and the coefficients of polynomial, we determine the value of these coefficients. In the second step, we form the polynomial using the values of coefficients that have been determined in the first step. Now let's see an example how this method works. So we have been given a question in which we have to find a quadratic polynomial. We have to form a quadratic polynomial for which the sum of zeros is -3 and the product of its 0 is 2. So we have been given this information, that is the sum of the zeros is -3 and the product of the zeros is 2, and from this information we have to form the quadratic polynomial. Now let's understand how we can do that. So let the polynomial be ax square plus bx plus c and the 0 be alpha and beta. Right? So if alpha and beta are the zeros of polynomial ax square plus bx plus c. Why do we use this? Because we don't know the polynomial. That's why we are using standard form, and we are taking alpha and beta as the zeros of that polynomial. So the sum of the zeros can be expressed in the form alpha plus beta is equal to negative ratio of the coefficient of x and coefficient of x square, and we have been given that the sum of the zeros is -3. So using this information we get alpha plus beta is equal to -3, and similarly we get -3 is equal to -b by a. राइट? यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि एक पॉलिनोमियल है हमारे पास ax स्क्वायर प्लस bx प्लस c, एंड उसके दो जीरोज है अल्फा एंड बीटा. सो हमने जो रिलेशनशिप डिराइव की थी आगे की वीडियोस में या आगे वाली स्लाइड में, उस रिलेशनशिप को यूज़ करके हम यहाँ पर पहले a, b और c इन तीनों कोएफिशिएंट्स की वैल्यूज़ निकालेंगे और फिर वो उस वैल्यूज़ को इस स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म में सब्सटीट्यूट करेंगे तो हमें वो पॉलिनोमियल मिल जाएगा. सो हियर यहाँ पर हमने एक पॉलिनोमियल लिया है ax स्क्वायर प्लस bx प्लस c, क्योंकि हमें पता नहीं है वो पॉलिनोमियल कैसा है, इसलिए उसका स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म हमने लिया है और उसके अल्फ़ा और बीटा दो ज़ीरोज़ लिए हैं. हमने आगे देखा था कि अल्फ़ा प्लस बीटा यानी द सम ऑफ द ज़ीरोज़, उसकी रिलेशनशिप क्या है, वो रेशियो के बराबर है. कौन सा रेशियो? नेगेटिव रेशियो ऑफ कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ x टू द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ x स्क्वायर. ये है कोएफिशिएंट x का कोएफिशिएंट है और ये a जो है वो x स्क्वायर का कोएफिशिएंट है. सो इस इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज़ करके हम ये कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पर हमें दिया गया है कि सम ऑफ द ज़ीरोज़ क्या है, सम ऑफ द ज़ीरोज़ है -3. सो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, अल्फ़ा प्लस बीटा इज इक्वल टू -3, एंड उससे हम ये कह सकते हैं कि -3 इज इक्वल टू -b बाय a. तो ये रिलेशनशिप से हमें यहाँ पर सम ऑफ द ज़ीरोज़ मिले हैं. उसके बाद now let's see how it works for the product. So if the polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c, then alpha and beta will be the zeros. So using the relationship for the product of the polynomials, we have alpha beta is equal to the ratio of constant term upon the coefficient of x square. Here we can see that c is the constant term and a is the coefficient of x squared. This is a, right, and this is c. Now from the given information we can say that alpha beta is equal to 2, as we have been given that the product of the zeros is 2. So alpha beta is equal to 0, which equates the 2 with the value c by a. यहाँ पर हमने क्या किया, यहाँ पर हमने अल्फ़ा बीटा 0 लिए हैं और अल्फ़ा बीटा के प्रोडक्ट को हम यहाँ पर उसके रिलेशनशिप के साथ यहाँ पर ये फॉर्मूला हम लिखते हैं. दैट इज़ अल्फ़ा बीटा इज इक्वल टू, दैट इज़ द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ जीरोस इज इक्वल टू द रेशियो ऑफ कांस्टेंट टर्म बाय द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर। सो ये इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज़ करके हम ये लिख सकते हैं कि अल्फ़ा बीटा इज इक्वल टू 2, क्योंकि हमें यहाँ पर दिया गया है क्वेश्चन में कि प्रोडक्ट ऑफ ज़ीरोज़ इज़ 2, यानी प्रोडक्ट क्या है ज़ीरोज़ का 2। सो ये इससे हम ये लिख सकते हैं कि 2 इज इक्वल टू सी अपॉन ए, विच इज़ द रेशियो ऑफ कॉन्स्टेंट टर्म टू द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर। ओके, सो यहाँ पर हमें ये दो वैल्यूज़ मिले हैं। इन वैल्यूज़ को हम आगे यूज़ करेंगे और क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल फॉर्म करेंगे। तो कैसे करेंगे देखते हैं। Now comparing the values of both the ratios, we get -3 is equal to -b by a and 2 is equal to c by a. We can write this ratio in this form also, that is minus of 3 upon a is equal to minus b upon a, and same way 2 upon 1 will be equal to c upon 1. यहाँ पर इस -3 को मैं इस फॉर्म में भी लिख सकता हूँ और उसी तरह 2 को अपॉन 1 में लिख सकता हूँ। तो यहाँ पर अब जब भी इन रेशियोज़ को हम when we compare these ratios and values, we get the values of a to be 1. a की वैल्यू यहाँ पर क्या होगी 1, और b की वैल्यू क्या होगी तो 3, एंड c की वैल्यू हमें क्या मिलती है तो c की वैल्यू यहाँ पर हमें मिलती है 2। सो इस तरह हमें तीनों कोएफिशिएंट्स की वैल्यू मिल चुकी है, एंड सब्सटीट्यूटिंग दिस वैल्यूज इन द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म वी गेट, स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म इसका जो है ए एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस बी एक्स प्लस सी। अब यहाँ पर हमें ए की वैल्यू 1 मिली है, बी की वैल्यू 3 मिली है और सी की वैल्यू है 2। सो यूजिंग दिस वैल्यूज वी कैन फॉर्म एन इक्वेशन दैट इज एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 3x प्लस 2, दैट इज सब्सटीट्यूटिंग द वैल्यूज ऑफ ए बी एंड सी, द कोएफिशिएंट्स, वी गेट सच टाइप ऑफ quadratic polynomial. So this polynomial fits the given condition. So this is a polynomial which actually fits into the given condition, and so any quadratic polynomial that fits this condition will be of the form k multiplied by x square plus 3x plus 2, where k is any real number. So in this way we can form any quadratic polynomial using the relationship if the zeros of that polynomial, that is the sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros of that polynomial, have been given. Now let's take another example and try to solve it. So here we have been given the sum of the zero as 0, the sum of the zeros is 0, and the sum of the product of the zeros of the polynomial is square root of 5. Now using this relationship, using this information, we are going to form the quadratic polynomial. So let's begin. Let the polynomial be ax square plus bx plus c, and similarly alpha and beta be the zeros of that polynomial. Now using the relationship for the sum of the zeros, we have alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a. This relationship, we have been given that the sum of the zeros is 0. Here the actual value of the sum is 0, right? So equating that, we get alpha plus beta is equal to 0, and we also get the ratio 0 is equal to minus b upon a. Now looking for the product, we have alpha beta as zeros, so we alpha multiplied by beta will give us the relationship that is c by a, and using this information we get alpha beta is equal to square root of 5, which is the product of the 0 which has been given. So this gives us equation root 5 is equal to c by a. Now comparing the values of these ratios, we get 0 is equal to minus b by a and root 5 is equal to c by a. From this we can also write it as minus 0 by 1 is equal to minus b, and square root of 5 upon 1 is equal to c by a. So clearly we have the values for our coefficients. From this ratios we can say that value of b is 0 and value of a is 1 and value of c is square root of 5. So how does our quadratic polynomial take shape? Let's see. So substituting these values in the standard form, we get ax square plus bx plus c. Here value of a is 1 and value of b is 0, whereas value of c is root 5. So we get x square plus 0x because the value of b is 0 and value of c is root 5. So we can write this polynomial in this form also because this term becomes 0. It is a 0-degree polynomial. So the polynomial will be of the form x square plus square root of 5. So this polynomial fits the given condition, and hence any quadratic polynomial that fits these conditions will be of the form k multiplied by x square plus square root of 5, where k is any real number. So in this way we can form the quadratic polynomials if the zeros of the polynomials are given. So you can try out some examples which I will send you, and also your exercise 2.2 second question contains such type of polynomials. So solve them as a homework, and with this we come to an end of that topic. Now we are continuing further with the last part or section of this topic, that is the relationship between the zeros and coefficients of cubic polynomials. So let's begin. Here we take an example of a cubic polynomial, that is 2x cube minus 5x square minus 14x plus 8. We know how we find out the zeros. To find out the zeros of this polynomial, we have to factorize this term, and for factorizing we have to split these terms. We have studied in standard 9 how we factorize the cubic polynomial. So let's begin. Here first of all we will factorize and find out the zeros of this polynomial. So we can see that one of the factor is minus 2. How can we find out the factor? We can find out the factors by replacing the values of x to be 0, 1, minus 1, 2 and minus 2, right? So when we substitute the value of x to be minus 2, we get the value of this polynomial to be 0. So minus 2 will be the one of the zeros of this cubic polynomial, and if minus 2 is 0 of the polynomial, then x plus 2 will be one of the factor of this term or polynomial. So let's split the terms and find out the other factors of this polynomial or other zeros which are to be found out. So we can, in the last slide we have seen that x plus 2 is a factor, right? So x plus 2. Now how am I going to divide this particular term? हमें यहाँ पर इस टर्म्स को स्प्लिट करना है. इनको स्प्लिट हम कैसे करेंगे? ऐसे स्प्लिट करेंगे ताकि हमें इन जो टर्म्स होंगे उनकी पेयर्स में से x प्लस 2 कॉमन फैक्टर मिले, राइट? तो यहाँ पर हम इसे शुरू करते हैं. सबसे पहले हम लिखेंगे 2x क्यूब, राइट? और 2x क्यूब के बाद हमें ये जो टर्म है 5x स्क्वायर, तो उसे ऐसे स्प्लिट करना है ताकि हमें पहले दो टर्म में से x प्लस 2 हमें कॉमन मिले. और x प्लस 2 कॉमन निकालने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे? यहाँ पर x, यहाँ 2 तो है तो यहाँ पर सिर्फ x रहना चाहिए. तो हमें यहाँ पर क्या हमारे पास रह जाएगा? इफ़ वी डिवाइड दिस टर्म विथ 2x स्क्वायर, right? If we divide this term with 2x square, we will be left with x, and here we will be left with 2. So we will get, यहाँ पर इन दोनों टर्म्स को अगर हम 2x स्क्वायर से डिवाइड करते हैं, राइट? तो 2x स्क्वायर से अगर हम डिवाइड करेंगे तो हमें यहाँ पर x प्लस 2 मिलता है. इसलिए इस 5x स्क्वायर को यहाँ पर 4x स्क्वायर के रूप में हम लिखेंगे. तो इसके दो पार्ट्स हमने बना दिए हैं. वी हैव मेड 2 parts by splitting this term, that is 4x square minus 9x square. So the total of this or sum of this will be 5x square, and also we will get 2x square as common and x plus 2 as a common factor from these two terms. So this will be the term. How I get this term? That is by using this formula we get 4x squared, right? So now to make this again minus 5 square, I have to subtract minus 9x square so that I get this term. So writing minus 9x square, again I have to find out the common between these two terms. That is, I am having 14x, but I have to split this term minus 14x so that I get x plus 2 as a factor from these two terms. So I have got 9x square. So if I subtract 18x, if I divide this as 18x, then I will get x plus 2 as a common factor, and if I take 9 as common from these two terms, so I will get x plus 2 as a common factor from these two terms. And similarly for making this term, if I write minus 18x, then making up this term I have to add 4x, so that minus 18 plus 4 will give us minus 14. So remaining term will be written over here and the last term will be placed here. So in this way, factorizing these sums, we get 2x square, x plus 2 is common from first two terms, and 9x common from the second, third and fourth term, and x plus 2 as a common factor. And then from the last two terms I get 4 as common, and then x plus 2 will be the remaining factor. Now again writing these factors in and grouping them together, we get x plus 2, and again we get a quadratic polynomial. Now this quadratic polynomial, again to find out the remaining zeros, we have to factorize them by splitting the middle term. So by splitting the middle term, we get this polynomial in this form, that is 2x square minus 8x minus 9x plus 4. We know how to split the quadratic polynomial. So again taking the common factors, and we get finally x plus 2, x minus 4 and 2x minus 1 as the factors of this polynomial. So we can say that when we equate them with zeros, we get the zeros, that is minus 2, 4 and 1 upon 2 as the zeros of this polynomial. So now as we have got alpha, beta and gamma, we know that there are at the most 3 zeros of any cubic polynomial. So suppose we take alpha, beta and gamma to be zeros, right? So what zeros did we get in the last term? We got alpha is equal to 4, alpha is equal to 4, beta is equal to minus 2, and gamma is equal to 1 upon 2. So using these values for the given polynomial, we find out the sum of the zeros. That is, the sum of the zeros will be alpha alpha plus beta plus gamma will give us 4 plus minus 2 plus half. That will be equal to 4 plus minus 2 plus half. Now here we have a fraction in the last term, so taking LCM of this, we have to multiply both these terms with 2. That is, 4 will be multiplied by 2 will give us 8, and minus 2 multiplied by 2 will give us minus 4, and plus 1 divided by 2. So solving this, we get 5 upon 2, which also can be written as negative of minus 5 upon 2. Now what is minus 5? We can see here minus 5 is the coefficient of x square, and comparing it with the standard form, we get minus 5 is equal to b. And what is 2 here? So 2 here in the denominator is the coefficient of x cube. So we can write this relationship as negative ratio of the coefficient of x square to the coefficient of x cube, that is minus b upon a. So that will give us negative ratio of coefficient of x square to the coefficient of x cube. So thus the relationship of the sum of the zeros and the coefficient of cubic polynomials is minus b by a. The zeros when added up together will give us the ratio, that is ratio of the coefficient, negative ratio of the coefficient of x square to the coefficient of x cube. So in this way we can find out the relationship that exists between the zeros and the coefficients of cubic polynomials. So these are important relationship, and we have to remember it very well. Now let's find out the relationship between the product of zeros and the coefficient of cubic polynomials. Suppose alpha, beta and gamma are zeros of this polynomial. We have found out the zeros. Alpha is 4, beta is -2 and gamma here is 1 upon 2. So taking these three zeros into consideration, we get alpha, beta, gamma. The product of zeros will be 4 multiplied by -2 multiplied by 1 upon 2. So the product we get here will be these two and this 2 both get cancelled out. So -1 remains here, and when -1 is multiplied by 4, we get -4. This -4 could also be written as -8 divided by 2. So when dividing -8 by 2, we get -4. Now here, what is 8? 8 is the constant term of the cubic polynomial. And what is 2? 2 is the coefficient of x cube. So we can show this relationship as a ratio of the constant term and the coefficient of x cube. That is the negative ratio of the constant term and the coefficient of x cube. So the relationship exists between zeros and coefficients of cubic polynomial, and it is expressed in the form of a negative ratio of the constant term to the coefficient of x cube. So this way there exists a relationship between the product of zeros and coefficients of cubic polynomials. Now let us find out what happens if we take the product of two zeros and add them together simultaneously. Then what relationship do we get? So again, taking the same alpha, beta and gamma as the zeros of polynomial 2x cube minus 5x squared minus 14x plus 8. So we know that a value of alpha is 4, beta is -2 and gamma is again 1 upon 2. So alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma. Here we are taking the product of any two zeros simultaneously, means the two zeros are multiplied with each other and then they are added together. So alpha is 4, beta is -2. In the second term we have beta multiplied by gamma, gamma is 1 upon 2, and in the last term we have gamma multiplied by alpha. So solving this, we get 4 multiplied by -2 will give us -8. Here -2 and 2 both are cancelled out, so we get -1, and here 2 cancels 4 with 2, and hence we get 2. So solving this, we get -7. -8 and -1 will give us -9, and when we add 2 to it, we get -7. This -7 can also be written as -14 divided by 2. Now comparing this ratio with our coefficients of the cubic polynomial, we get -14 to be the coefficient of x, that is c, and 2 is the coefficient of x cube. So this relationship can be denoted by ratio of the coefficient of x to the coefficient of x cube, right? So in this way we can say that there exists a relationship between the sum of the products of two zeros and coefficients of a cubic polynomial when these two zeros are taken simultaneously. That is, we can denote this relationship as the ratio of the coefficient of x to the ratio of x cube. So the ratio of coefficient of x to the coefficient of x cube represents the relationship that exists between the sum of the products of two zeros. Here please remember this term, that is the sum of the product of two zeros taken simultaneously and the coefficients, right? Here we take the product, but only two zeros are multiplied together and then they are added together. So this way this relationship exists between them. So with this we come to our end of our third section of polynomials, and from next video we are going to start with the last topic of this chapter, that is the division of the polynomials. So till then I will send you some examples, extra sums to solve your exercise, that is exercise number 2.2 and question number 2. So complete it and send it to me. See you in the next video. That's all. Thank you.